Namaskar and welcome to this exciting episode of Sattology, debunking mythology. Sattology means science of truth, a study of truth built on the root Sanskrit dhatu called Sat. Opposite of that is mythology, which is built on the root Sanskrit dhatu. Myth, with mythology means science or study of fake lie imagination. I have a very special guest, very popular in the world, known as yoga scientist. So without delay, let us welcome Shri Atul Vyas.
Very good morning, everyone.
Namaskar, Atulji. Atulji, when we talk about Namaste, Namaste has become the new fashion of intelligent class in the US. I've seen so many times Namaste, and the moment somebody says Namaste, it's a community now. Namaste community. And so today we are talking about the Swara Yoga. Now, when we talk about Swara Yoga, what do you actually mean by that?
Swara Yoga is the ancient science of pranic body rhythms, which explains how the movement of prana can be controlled by manipulation of breath. This is, in brief, is Swara Yoga. It is like pranayama, but different from pranayama in the aspect that Swara Yoga deals with the analysis of breath and significance of different pranic rhythms, while pranayama involves store and control of pranas. Prana is the life force, we call it, and the entire existence revolves around, is caused by the prana and revolves around the prana. Aditi ji.
See, one of the most important things is yoga is that yoga word. I've been telling them gradually that in Bhagavad Gita and other places, when we refer to yoga, it's a complete thing. It's not just asana, but it's also yoga is also connecting, going back to Vaikuntha is also yoga. So one word yoga. So when we use the word spirituality, it's a very shallow word because first of all, most of the Brahminism cultures don't recognize spirit. They don't recognize reincarnation. So spirituality doesn't make sense. So, but when we say yoga, then Atma, Paramatma, and Bhagwan, all three come into picture immediately. So the even though we use the words, but we sometimes we don't think about them what we are speaking. So the word yoga is a complete word in itself. What do you have to say on that?
Uh, Yoga is a complete, uh, it comprises the entire universe a man uh, is living in or moves in or exists in, because the entire world of a person exists on two planes broadly. One is gross, we call it in Hindi or Sanskrit stool, and other is subtle or sukshma. So, you know, the all the manifestation which we see in the gross world are basically the manifestation which has been created in the subtle world, and they found expression in the external world. So uh, the yoga is the union of these two worlds, the subtle inner world and gross outer external world. So it encompasses the entire human being. You know, Aditiji, for the sake of convenience, I have used these terms. Otherwise, there are many aspects of it: chitta, mind, astral body, I mean, but basically, broadly, they are two. Even Vivekananda has said that, for example, I tell you, if I am raising my hand, this is a very simple act. Do you think it is only the bones and flesh and muscles they are raising? No. If you analyze this, the reason and cause of this movement, you will understand how the things manifest in the external world and why Sanatan Dharma in Indian philosophy has says that you are responsible for your life. Why? It is because of this simple exercise you observe this and try to analyze why and how it has happened. Somebody in us, you can say real you, ordered your mind to raise your hand. The mind ordered the brain ordered the nerve ordered the bones and flesh to raise the hand, and it is raised. It happens in a fraction of a second. So, who is the person who orders or resolves? And that person is the we call it real you, and rest is brain, mind,
Yeah, your answer got messed up. Missed actually, because most of the time you were not there.
oh really?
Yeah,
Okay, because I saw your frame froze. Anyway, I will come up with yoga. Basically, we are divided into two worlds. One is inner world and other is external world. Let us take an example of one simple illustration. If I raise my hand like this, then we have to understand the process of raising the hand. What are the steps involved in raising the hand? Number one is first is the resolve. Who resolves to raise the hand? Number one. Then that resolution is passed on to the mind. That mind then orders your brain to raise the hand. The brain then orders through the nerves and messengers. We call it chemical messengers, which orders the bone and flesh to raise the hand in such a position, and the hand is raised. So, from inner world, the external world manifestation is achieved. Similarly, the way the hand is raised to the resolution, you can create anything and everything with the help of concentration, power, one pointedness of the mind through yogic practice and mantras. So this is a wonderful science. So yoga is basically the union of the powerful inner self, or you can call subtle body, with the external gross body in the world. So it is a holistic science, and which is very powerful. And even Lord Krishna has said, "Yoga samam balam nasti." That is my favorite line. There is no power like yoga in the universe.
yeah, and then he also says, "Be a yogi at all times." He says, "One who lives in me is a topmost yogi." Madhekant,
Yes.
you know. So anyway, the now when you talk about the pranayam and Swara Yoga, now how do you connect Swara Yoga with this entire yoga cycle, the entire yoga, like the Ashtanga Yoga, Pranayam, and also the Mantra Japa, all three aspects?
For that, we have to understand the reference of the Swara Yoga. It was first mentioned in Shiva Swara Uday, a text called Shiva Swara Uday. And in that, they have mentioned that the flow of the prana through the nadis is called Swara Yoga. We we breathe, we take in the pranas. Pranas is said to be the vital force which evolves the body, which maintains the body, which runs the body. And that prana, when moves through the nadis is called the in Sanskrit, the flow is called nadi. The energy when flows, it is called nadi. And when the prana flows through the nadi, this is called the pranayama, storing and moving of the movement of the pranas. But in this, the Swara Yoga enters, because we have to understand there are major 12 nadis or 12 energy meridians, you can call like Chinese, but I will not call them meridians. They are called nadis, which are the flow of energy in the body, in the subtle body. There are 12 major nadis, out of which 72,000 uh, small branches of nadis move around in the body, and they uh, nourish the body with the different kinds of pranas. Out of these 12 nadis, there are three very important channels or psychic channels or nadis, which are called Ida, Pingala, and Sushmana. They are basically three very important nadis which move from the base of the body to your forehead. This is called Agya Chakra, between the brows, in the hypothalamus, you can call it. So when the pranas move in these nadis, you will be surprised. You will be surprised to know that we have got two nostrils, but these nostrils alternatively open after every hour or every hour and 20 minutes. One nostril only flows and the other nostril is blocked. This is a very natural process which, if one is mindful, can observe. So, and this is very significant. It has a very significant effect on the physiology and psychology of a person. This is the basis of Swara Yoga. So when the flow of prana is through the left nostril, it has got different effect on the physiology and psychology of the body. And when it flows through the right nostril, it has got the different effect. And when the both nostrils they flow, it has got a different effect. So when it flows through the right nostril, it is called Pingala. That Pingala Nadi, which is the right nostril, represents Pingala. The breath, when is going through the right nostril, is coming out of the right nostril. When it is flowing, you are said to be uh, 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 have your Surya Nadi or the Pingla Nadi is said to be activated. And when after an hour and 20 minutes, this rhythm, this is a very rhythmic flow of nadis. But if this rhythm is maintained, that every hour and a half or so, your rhythm changes, then you must know that you are healthy. And if this rhythm is disturbed, then you must know that there is some disease or problem in the body. Now, there are three aspects of uh, a human being, you can call it. One is mind, the other is life force, we call prana, and third is your soul or atma. So these three nadis or three flows, as I mentioned, represent all these three aspects of a human being. The left nostril represents the mind, which is, and it has a cooling effect, and the right nostril represents the life force or prana. So, and when the both nostrils they flow, it is the atma element is predominant. So when the left nostril is flowing, your mind aspect is predominant and the life force element is weaker. When the right nostril flows, your life force element is predominant, mind force and atmic force are weaker. When both the nostrils flow, uh, this is then your spiritual aspect is very predominant. And when the both nostrils the flow, it is said that the Sushmana Nadi, the central channel, is open, which runs from the base of the spine to the center to this Agya chakra. And when the right nostril is flowing, then your right side of the uh, psychic channel is working, which on the right side of the Sushmana channel, central channel. And when the left is flowing, your left channel is flowing, which is called, and the left that since left channel is the represent the mind aspect, it has got a cooling effect. It is very relaxing, vitalizing, and when the right nostril is flowing, yeah, I mean it is a very powerful, it is very energy giving effect. Therefore, the right nostril is called Surya Nadi, the left nostril is called Chandra Nadi, and the central channel is called Sushmana Nadi. So they are the three aspects of the Swara Yoga, which affects the physiology and psychology of a person, thereby have tremendous healing properties uh, uh, for a human being. Aditya ji.
So when we do the Anulom Vilom pranayam, do you think that it is a Swara Yoga where we are balancing the prana?
Of course, exactly. Anulom Vilom, this Swara Yoga explains why Anulom Vilom is effective. Now I will come to the deeper aspects of Swara Yoga. See, Earth is basically a big electromagnet. The North Pole is the North Pole is the north of the that magnet, and South Pole represent the negative pole of this magnet. And the these two sides, this Earth magnet, has a very deep impact on all the living creatures of the body of a human being. And as such, even a human body acts like a small magnet, where the head is the positive side of, I mean, positive, you can say the north pole of the magnet, and the legs are, the feet are the south pole, or, negative aspect of that magnet. So when this energy flows from positive to negative, it creates a electromagnetic field. Therefore, similarly, these how does that electromagnetic forces they run? They run on the by the movement of the ions. They are called positive ions and negative ions, cations and anions. So this movement of anions and cations are represented by Ida and Pingala. So the right side, right of the nostril is called Pingala, is responsible for the positive ions. When we inhale through the right side, we are inhaling the uh, positive ions in our body. And positive ions increase the physical power and if you in the body, while the negative ions are very revitalizing ions. When you inhale through the left nostril, through the Chandra Nadi, we inhale the negative ions. So when we are doing the Anulom Vilom Pranayam, basically we are establishing an equilibrium between the electric field of the body. Positive, negative forces are equal, they are equalized. Therefore, Nadi Shodhan Pranayam or Anulom Vilom done for a long time creates a balance and harmony and homeostasis in the body. And therefore, it cures the diseases. Aditya, and Swara Yoga is the best explanation for why and how alternative breathing affects and heals the body.
So one natural question comes in that I do Anulom Vilom every day, I'll admit it, because it really helps me. This is the biggest stress buster. And also the Kapalbhati also. So what is the relationship between these two? So what I understand now, that Swara Yoga is a principle, but these are the exercises. Pranayama, Anulom, Vilom, these are the asana. So what is the relationship between the regular, like when you do pranayam, we just breathe in and breathe out, and focus on the breath, like you said last time also in one of the shows, that how many counts you need to keep for the om, and gradually you start raising your chakra up, you know and so how's all these things related? Because according to me, the sound vibration of om literally is magical. So when you do om, then it really starts affecting you overall. Like when I'm speaking to you, my hairs are standing on end simply by the om. So the what is the relationship in all these three?
It is, as I said, this is all energy. And energy has got two polar aspects, positive and negative. And the mantra Om is basically the balancing aspect of the electrical energies. A sound is an energy. So you are using sound energy to balance your electromagnetic forces. And now I will come to that in pranayama. If you go deeper, the details of Swara Yoga, which will be very quite detailed if I go into the aspect, because then I will have to explain the deeper basics of the Swara Yoga. But uh, broadly, I am talking about the main aspects of pranayama or mantra yoga is your breathing aspect, your inhalation and exhalation, or inspiration or expiration. In pranayama, it is, I mean, apart from doing anulom vilom, simply breathing in and taking the count. Why count is more important? Because the length of your inspiration and expiration are critically important for your for the growth of your consciousness, for the transcendence of your consciousness, for your healing capacities, as per the Swara Yoga. The more, the longer is your expiration breath, then it is, I mean, considered just physical one. The With the practice, as an on, your body is purified or clarified, then the length of your expiration keeps on decreasing, and it is measured in the terms of angul. Length of an angul, you call it breadth of a finger. It is measured in the length of the normal length of an healthy person is, when you are sitting normally, it is 7 to 9 anguls. And if you can, with the practice, you will find that this length decreases. If your expiration through long practice of meditation or mantra or pranayama comes to only one angul, just one breath, then you become detached. That is, vairagi happens in your mind. You become vairagi. You are not attached. There are no desires. You become detached. If the length is 2 anguls, then you are always happy, anandam, for no reason. And if it is 3 angul, then you become a psychic. You can see the future events very easily. And if it becomes 4, it becomes 5. There are different significance of this length of the breath. So this pranayama is not simply the inhalation and exhalation, but it is the aim is to reduce the length and of the breath, not by your effort. It should be reduced naturally. That is very important. It is not like that you hold your breath and then you say, "Oh, it is now one Angul." No, no, no. It has to come naturally, and by this you can become a master of different fields. You can become very poetic, poetic abilities. You can different mental abilities they exhibit through this pranayama. Swara yoga, when you are breathing through the right nostril, when the Surya Nadi is activated, you are you can do physical work without getting fatigued. When you breathe in through if your left nostril is activated or flowing, then you can do mental work, planning calmly, revitalizing the body. These are the aspects of this program. When the when the both the nostrils are flowing, it means you are ready for meditation or spiritual practices. That is, your Sushmana Nadi is flowing. So, Swara Yoga means appropriate action with the appropriate flow of Swara. And these Swaras can be also manipulated through yogic acts. There are many yogic exercises which can change the flow of Swaras. And amazing thing is one thing, that if you can change the flow of the Swaras at a certain interval, one can retain one's youth, one can be very young, one can be very good looking. I mean, one can be very calm, one can be very attractive, one can develop oratory. So many faculties can be developed through the appropriate changing of swaras at a certain point of time, for certain duration of time. That is very specifically given in a very detailed manner in this science. It is basically a tantric science which is not come to the light of the world, and it is the basis of the pranayama, Aditya.
So you also mentioned Tantra, which is Tantra and Mantra and Yantra. Now, Yantra, we all know, is a machine, and body is called Yantra Rani Maya Yantra. It functions as a machine. Now, Tantra, we all know it's a system, like a system. Not really means tantric, which people say tantric. Tantric is connotation is like it is some kind of black magic. And mantra, mantra, we also know that the mantra elevates consciousness to a next level and helps you realize. All these words have become very popular, but nobody goes into the meanings of them. One of my next books, which I am planning to work on, I have started collecting data, is meditations on 108 meditations. That's what I'm working on. So when I'm dealing with these topics and I see the Western world talking about these topics, and the same thing comes to India also. The English speaking crowd in India, they regularly use the Western terms to describe their culture, which is very funny to a large extent. So, but we are speaking in English because we're speaking to a Western audience. Now, here, when we talk about mantra, tantra, and yantra, how does these three correlate with Swara Yoga?
Very simple. Basically, Tantra is a path of total transcendence, even with the limitations. That is important. And mantra and yantra are a tool of Tantras. You know what I mean? They are the tool of transcendence of your consciousness from one level to another and to highest level. You know, what I say is body, when body is when body is finished, you are left with energy. When energy is not there, you are left with mind. When the mind is not there, you are left with consciousness. When the consciousness is not there, you are left with super consciousness. So these are the steps of reaching the super consciousness. So Tantra is Swara Yoga is a part of Tantra tradition. And some aspects of Tantra are very well known, and very misinterpreted and misquoted and misrepresented. And while one aspect, few aspects are forgotten, and one of them is called Swara Yoga, Aditiji. And these are, as I said, are the tools of transcendence uh, through Tantra, the path of Tantra. And Swara Yoga is a part of Tantra technique.
No, the the mystifying nature of the the everyone wants to be mystic, but there is no abhyas involved. There are a lot of people who do abhyas. I know very sincere teachers, yoga teachers, who do abhyas in a regular way in USA, and they're Americans, and they do it in a very sincere way, abhyas. But they miss out on the bigger purpose of yoga, which is the yoga has physical level, yoga has mental level, and the yoga has a deep spiritual level. Like it picks up a soul from being bound in karma bandhan and puts it on a level where it can be released from karma bandhan through the karma. So the whole life becomes yoga. So what do you have to say? And since you're talking Swara Yoga, from Swara Yoga perspective, lifting a person from a basic, like a person who is bound in the karma, to releasing a person so that he can be free from the karma. What do you have to say?
It's, I will, sorry to say, but I will here politely disagree with you. Yoga has, there are no levels, physical or mental. My kind submission, my own experience is very, I'm talking a bit on the basis of my experience. Even if you don't have any faith, even if you are not sincere, even if you are uh, don't have any faith, or you don't follow any austerities which are necessary. If you just simply do yogic practice of whatever kind, regular practice of pranayama, asana, one asana, two asana, three asana, pranayama, meditation, whatever aspect, even yama, niyama, you are bound to realize all these three aspects of your life effortlessly. You will have faith, you will develop everything, you will be a good human being, you will move away from the bad, evil and bad habits, natural. And I have used it on drug addicts, I have used it on alcoholics who are die-hard alcoholics, incurable alcoholics who are disgusted with themselves because of this habit. I always told them that you can keep on taking drugs, but to keep doing yoga, yogic practices which are recommended to them. And gradually they weaned away from this, and they evolved as a good person, and doing wonderful things in life right now. So, number one, yogic practice done sincerely or not, done with uh, faith or not, but regularity of practice, duration of practice is critically important for developing your mental, spiritual, physical, and other aspects of life. Aditi. That I can assure you and guarantee you, because I have experienced myself and I've experimented with so many people around the world.
You know, it- so what are the best books to read on Swara Yoga?
I will recommend Shiv Swara Uday is a ancient text which is very, very important. If you are, if I don't know whether you have heard the name of a great saint called Devra Baba. He left his physical mortal, I think, in 90s recently, and he is said to live up to 800 years. People have seen him, for generations have seen him. He was living on the banks of river Ganges. He was living on a machan, I will say, raised platform, never came down from it. And when he was asked, he said, how you could live for so long time? He said, very simple. In the night, I activate my Surya Nadi, that is right nostril, and in the daytime, I activate my Chandra Nadi. I mean, he could live up to 800 plus years, and people have seen him, witnessed him, and their generations have seen him. So, this is the power of Swara Yoga, and there are many good books available which I am not aware because I am taught in the tradition of a guru shishya. My mother was my guru, and she sent me to so many gurus. So I have I got my knowledge through them, filtered knowledge through them by their own experience. We call it anubhav janya gyan, experience knowledge. So I'm sorry that, and when I come to recommending books, I I don't know the good books about it. So to be honest, Aditi.
And it's so surprising, whenever you mention any of these stories, real stories. I have witnessed it myself, some of those, and with my own eyes I have seen people doing that. And uh, and that too not too far back, just 3-4 years back, when I went to Kumbh Mela, I saw amazing things over there. You have to just observe Kumbh Mela. You don't have to just be running around and just sit down in one place and see things. So I witnessed it, but most of the what do you call it, the doubters will say, how is it possible? How is it possible? But yoga makes impossible things happen. It is a science. Like we have Atul Vyas ji, who calls himself yoga scientist, and I believe that fully. So the what do you have to say to these doubters when we say Devra Baba lived for 18 years? I've heard this story myself. So you're
You
just
can
repeating.
you can see his videos on the YouTube.
Uh-huh.
To believe him, to believe me, you see his videos on the YouTube. And when Rajiv Gandhi as a PM was to visit him, and when the security people went there, and there was a beautiful bush tree, very big tree near him, and they wanted to cut it because of the security reasons. Then he said, "Why are you cutting it?" He said, "Sir, because of the security reasons, we cannot allow it to," because he was a, I mean, very high threat perception was there of the Rajiv Gandhi. Then what he said, "No, no, no. This tree is my friend for years. I talked to him. We talked for so many, I mean, for hours. I will not allow you to cut it. And now I sitting here, I cancel his visit." He said, "No, sir, he is coming. It is confirmed." He said, "I have cancelled it. You will get a confirmation." And in 2 days, he got the message that he is not coming because of some important task. So this is the power of Devra Baba. It is on the record. I'm not talking on my hearsay. So, and he has said this Swara Yoga is the essence of longevity, because it is the electrical, that's why we yoga calls breathing a electrifying experience, because we are inhaling the positive ion, negative ions when we are moving through these nostrils. So this science is extraordinary science. It is right side is Shiva, right side is Surya, this is Chandra, right side is Shiva, right left side is Parvati, and their union is, you know, you have to understand that everybody has some imbalance in their right and left side.
That's right.
When these both sides are balanced, there is electrical current which develops Kundalini, and you become enlightened. Basically, it is the yoga is the process of balancing the two sides, and two sides are represented by these right and left nostrils. And the main aspect is Sushumna. You have to develop the yogi develop Sushumna Nadi, so that they are always in that trance or meditation or samadhi, because that Sushumna is always open with them through the practice. Aditya ji.
Thank you so much, Atulji, for sharing this. And also, I know Devra Baba. I've heard about him. I've read about him. So I know. And I was asking questions for the benefit of the audience. And I'm very grateful you took his name today. and because very few people know, and so people can check out the videos of Devra Baba, and also and check out the power of yoga. And I think most of the times we don't have to believe in the Western academic viewpoints.
I will I will also give you one example.
Yeah.
My own, my father's own guru, was very enlightened, very powerful, said like Devra Baba. And he had declared 1 month before his demise, before he left his physical frame, that I will be living on that Dashera. And my father was present at the time of when people were praying, and then he asked his disciple to go out and see certain nakshatra, some certain planet has risen or not. He said, "Sir, it is already there now." Then, before my father's eyes and 20 people sitting there, he smiled and left his body from top of his head. There was a huge sound, pop, and there was a huge hole on his this head, Brahmandra, and he left his prana through this. The real yogis left from here. They don't leave from eyes or uh, this is a sign of very. So I have been very lucky to be in the company of the enlightened, say not one or two, and therefore I am so convinced of the power and ability of yoga to make a man mini god. Aditi.
Thank you so much for sharing. And for viewers who are watching this and would like to comment on it, do comment on it and let us know your feedback. This is an amazing session. I mean, this session is one of the best sessions we had recorded, Atulji. And thank you so much for all the viewers who are watching live also, and those who are going to watch it on YouTube also. Namaste and thank you.
God bless you. Thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoyed our this session.
Thank you.